Okay, in April of 2015, I went on a dating site. I was disillusioned with my life in England completely. And when I say completely, I mean absolutely completely. I absolutely had enough. But many years ago, due to my sport being martial arts, and I'd travelled to Southeast Asia a fair bit, luckily, a lot of it was paid for by my occupation and also by my country to travel and fly. I used to travel here, and I thought, you know, I can retire at 55 was my plan, and I'd like to spend the rest of my life in Southeast Asia. That's my story. Things came about a little bit quicker than that, because, as I say, I had an injury, and there's some good advice on that as well. I met a girl on the dating site, got with her on Facebook. Most important for all people doing this sort of stuff is, if they don't put you in touch with their family, don't put you on a Facebook. If they put you on a Facebook which is 3 months old, they're a scammer. If you're on a Facebook and it's real and people are talking to you and you can make friends with family members and you can chat to people. She spoke to my mum, I spoke to her kid. Unfortunately, her husband died. She's not a young bar girl. She's she'll hate me for saying this, but she's getting on a bit. She's 39, coming up 40. So she's 15 years my junior. Lovely lady, love her to bits. I have no qualms with it. But yeah, watch the dating sites as another piece of advice. If you get in touch with them, not just on the dating site, make sure you've got the Facebook. As much information as you can get before you come here, otherwise you're going to walk into a trap. And that's a fact. I know so many expats here who've been caught, shall we say.
Your years of experience and your practical knowledge is very valuable.
Well, maybe because I'm an ex-policeman, which, you know, makes me a little bit of a skeptic on life. You know, it tends to help.
No, that's a good point. I mean, a policeman has not always seen the most sunny side of life, so they are able to recognize when things aren't proper along the way. We tend to
sniff out the BS, yes. Yeah, there is no doubt about that, yes.
So that's...
There is lots of scammers on the internet. The only thing I'll say to anybody from the US, Australia, in fact all of Europe as well, if they're looking to come to the Philippines and meet a fantastic, loving, brilliant woman, it can be done. But do not fall in love within 2 minutes and make a fool of yourself and spend money and send money, and there are so many scammers on the internet, it's outrageous.
Thank you, Tony. And so tell us about, after your wisdom, you saw the importance of the involvement of the family and the proof of the truth of a person. How did things unfold for you?
Yeah, what happened is, on the dating site, I was 49 years old, coming up 50. I put an absolute 100% true bio on my dating platform, and I was getting advice from anything from 18-year-old girls to, I don't know, 60-year-old women. And I've got daughters who are a lot older than the 18-year-old girls. I've got 3 daughters. They're working now. So, yeah. So what I did is I changed my bio that only a certain age group could reply to me. But if you go on one of these dating sites, from any of them, I only went on one, and it was only because of my friend, who is married to a Filipino who lives in England with her. She's been with him for 15 years. She met him on a dating site, but in those days it wasn't like it is now. It's one of those where you you travel and you meet different people, and it wasn't online like we do now. I'd just say to anybody who's thinking about doing it, the women out here are genuinely nice people. In fact, the Philippines, without a doubt, is one of the nicest countries I've visited. Not as many as you, but getting close, countries that you have. And They are the nicest people in the world, in my book. Anybody tells me any different, they're talking rubbish as far as I'm concerned.
And so, what happened next?
Okay, so I came back in for my birthday, one day late. My now partner met me from my flight, and the other thing I did when I first came here is I looked at the prices of hotels, and I thought, well, if I'm going to go to Southeast Asia, bearing in mind that English is the language here, which you can pretty much get away with if you wish, instead of paying for a hotel and then travelling for a month, going back for a month, coming back for a month over a 6-month period, I worked out very easily that it's much cheaper to get a condo, rent a condo, because the hotels in Manila, where I first went, Europeans and foreigners are paying absolutely stupid money for, which is fine if they want to mix with other Europeans and they want to live in Makati or I don't know, Angeles or any of those areas, then that's fine for them. You pay for a hotel if you're only there for a couple of weeks, fine. But if you're actually planning on coming here to see if you want to live here, then I would recommend you rent, like you guys do, you know, rent an apartment. It's much cheaper. Okay, you don't get the bellboy giving you breakfast in the morning and giving you a towel at the pool, but at least you're saving a lot of money straight away.
So how did it go? You had met her online, you landed, and did you meet her family right away, or how did it go?
Okay, so in the first month I was here, I obviously just met my wife's called Maricel. I met her, and when I say wife, it's Asawad. We're not married. She's my partner, whatever you guys want to call significant other half, whatever. Mm-hmm. I met her. Got on like a house on fire, but I already knew we probably would because we'd spent a lot of time and I had very little sleep over the previous month. I actually rented my condo from June, thinking I'd go there in July, and I didn't get there till September, so I wasted a few dollars, as you guys will call it, on an empty apartment, which she asked me if it was okay because they had a free swimming pool there, and it was a nice condominium. So she asked me if it was okay if she utilised it with her kids. And so she'd send me pictures, and sometimes with WhatsApp or FaceTiming. The kids were there in my apartment, which is actually bare. There was nothing in it. But they literally bring their own sleeping mats and bedding, and they utilised the pool because it was free.
Wow.
And so I said, yeah, crack on, go on, use it. Yeah, I'm not using it, crack on.
That's great.
It was in my name.
That's great.
It was in my name, so it didn't matter to me, because if I got there and I didn't, I know it sounds not a nice thing to say, but if I didn't feel anything for her when I got here, FaceTime's easy, everybody can be nice. And if you're not feeling in a good mood, you just ignore FaceTime, or you just don't call. But when I got here, she was exactly as I thought she would be, and so everything kicked off very nicely. And yeah, I had no issues at all, absolutely none.
That's a great story.
Another bit of a free advice for anybody. They say on these dating sites, do not send money to your future partner, your person you think you're in love with or you want to meet or whatever. Do not send any money. That is one of the golden rules. I broke them all. I sent her the equivalent of by 2 months deposit on a condo, which is, you'll have to work this out in dollars, but I basically sent her 2 months deposit, 1 month advance rent, which was at the time, it was 63,000 peso. Bearing in mind that these guys here, my brother-in-law earns 9,000 peso a month as a professional driver for the police here.
Right. So
that is a very, very nice income. I also sent her money for a refrigerator. I'm diabetic, need a refrigerator in the unit before I got there, because I thought, well, my insulin ain't going to last that long if it's not in something cold.
Right.
I also sent some money for a bed, plus curtains, because I'm being well travelled. I know that if your house or your condo, which I knew mine was facing the sun, and you don't have any curtains in the window, it's going to get extremely hot very quick, and the aircon's going to cost you a nightmare or a fortune to try and cool it down. So everybody here keeps their curtains closed. That's just the way it is. I also sent money for other bits and pieces I wanted before I got there. And I got off the plane, and this is an absolute true story. My friends in England laughed, because half my friends in England said, you're going to get off the plane, you're going to have to book into a hotel because she's taken the money and done a runner. The other half said, you're nuts for doing this at all. And then I had one or two who said, I hope it's going to work. But no one really confidently thought that. So when I got off the plane, not only was she there, but the first thing when we got to the condo and showed me where, because I'd only seen the pictures, I'd only seen it on a map, I'd only seen it on Google Maps, and I said that she'd send me details. She'd actually looked for this condo for me, got it for me, paid for it for me, did everything. And when I got there, the first thing she did, before anything else, was to give me all the receipts. Every one.
Wow.
And I just went, I don't need to see those. And she went, no, but just to prove, because, I'd obviously had the conversation with her that, there are scammers on this site. There are people who take money and they don't do what they're going to say. But yeah, she had kept every receipt. Every receipt. And I mean every. It was really weird, because English women wouldn't do that. They go, okay, I got you a fridge, and by the way, at the same time, I bought myself some lipstick or perfume, or,
Yeah.
But no, it was to the penny, absolutely to the penny, and I was like absolutely amazed.
Wow.
Not a European woman styling, definitely not.
That's great.
Okay, next bit of advice to foreigners coming to the country. I had my travel insurance through my bank.
Through your bank?
Yes.
Okay.
And I won't mention the names of the banks, because I don't think it's something you could publish anyway, because then there's lots of liability involved.
Right.
But basically, I was with one bank, and I had 3 months coverage anywhere in the world, full insurance. I then got propositioned by another bank who said, you can have this account, we'll give you £100, 100 English pounds, GB, British pounds, to change banks, and we'll give you exactly the same coverage. When you come to the Philippines, which I found out in my first month, you have to notify your bank in person, I think going to a branch would be my advice, and tell them you're traveling to the Philippines, because the first thing they will do when you try and use your card in the Philippines is they'll cut you off, thinking it's a scam. So it's a must that you tell your bank where you're traveling to. It's certainly for the English guys. I don't know if it works like that in America, but MasterCard and Visa, basically, they will go, he should be in England. We don't like the fact that someone's trying to get cash or do this in the Philippines, and they just shut the account down, and then you have hell and all trouble getting money. That was my first month here. I worked that out second month.
That's great advice. For me, it was the first 3 years when I was outside the United States. I was with a very famous bank in the U.S. Since this is positive, I can say Bank of America, and they have a interface online where you just say what countries you'll be in and what are the dates, and I could update that before I flew to a new country, and everything went smoothly. So more great advice.
Yeah, I had the same. I had online banking with my bank in England. I did the I'm going travelling to, and I put the Philippines in online. I did it. Maybe it was my mistake. I did it 3 or 4 days before I left, thinking online is instant, which generally speaking it is. Maybe the second week that I was in, I can't remember now, it's a long time ago, but maybe the second week I was in, I thought, I'm running a little bit low on funds, because I bought cash obviously as well, always bring cash. And I went to the bank and it went, refused it completely. And then I tried another bank, it refused it again. I tried my other card, which I didn't want to do because to draw cash on a Visa card, I had a MasterCard debit and a Visa card. My Visa card, if you draw cash, then you pay a premium for it. The exchange rate is absolutely rubbish. And also, obviously, you're going to pay fees. So I didn't really want to do that, but I tried that as well. And because it's the same bank, it was a big no-no. So that caused me, well, to be fair, I have family in England, obviously, so and you've got Western Union, so within 48 hours, it was resolved in that my family sent me some money, and when I got back, I paid them back.
Okay.
But that was a pain in the bum. Yeah, so the second time I came, when I landed, everything was cool, went to the condo, everything was set up, everything was going well, and I broke my foot just before I was about to go back to England, and thought my insurance was in place with my old bank. I didn't check the small print on my new bank, and it was, with my new bank, I had coverage, absolutely maximum coverage, anywhere in the world, including helicopter lifts, shipping you back home for serious illnesses, but everything. And what they did is, on the new bank, it only covered 1 month in a rolling year. I didn't notice this. And because I'd declared to them I'd already been here 1 month,
Oh.
the second month, I had no medical care. And with a broken foot in the Philippines, that means you pay for everything. X-rays, plasters, everything. You pay for everything.
So did you go to a Philippine hospital and have your foot put in a cast?
Yes. Thinking that, okay, I'll pay for it. Once I've paid for it, I'll claim it all back on the insurance. I'm going back to England. But it was 2 days before I left, and they told me not to walk on it for 6 weeks. I thought, well, I'm not going to be flying. So that was really that.
And so what was your hospital bill? What for a cast
My
leg?
hospital bill was, compared to what I've seen from my US friends, the hospital bill in total would have been, I would think, somewhere around $3,500.
Wow.
And that included them doing further. They said I needed a steel pin. It wasn't a good break. Trust me, it wasn't a good experience. My own stupidity, as per usual, but there you go. I think at the end, I only actually paid around $250 because I didn't have the pin.
Wow.
But they were brilliant. The hospitals here, I've been in hospital here about 3 times now. Obviously not by choice, but and they've always been brilliant. The service is fantastic. The care is fantastic. And these aren't. I don't live in Makati. I don't live in Manila. I don't have any Europeans around me. The last time I was in hospital, I was probably the only foreigner in there. I certainly didn't see any other foreigners. And on my ward, there was me. That was it. So, yeah. But I paid something on prices. I didn't pay Makati European prices.
Yeah, I mean, just to walk into an emergency room in the U.S., even if you don't spend the night, you're probably looking at 2 to 3 times what you paid, and you had a cast put on your leg. So that's just to walk in. So,
no, that was everything. That was anti-inflammatories, doctor, and an X-ray, and the cast. They said you can't walk on anything for 6 weeks, and my visa was only for 4 weeks. So that's how I ended up staying in the Philippines, and I've been here ever since, really. So a couple of visits to other countries and one visit home.
So over that roughly 5-year period now, you visit a couple other countries and home. Was that to deal with the 36-month visa situation, or other things intervened?
Okay, so again, some of this, everything I say to you, you can publish. I had obviously the 36-month visa, which I actually went out of the country and made a fatal mistake, which I would recommend to all your subscribers and anybody listening to this. You must have an it doesn't matter what your visa says, have an outgoing flight when you come back into the Philippines. Because I was stuck in Taiwan for 3 days until I could find a flight which showed me going to another country once I got back. Even though my visa was still in date, on a tourist visa, if you leave the country and you don't have an outgoing flight, turn your way at the gate. They will not allow you on the flight.
I see.
So that was an expensive lesson which I learned a few years back. If you come into the Philippines, you obviously know this, you've travelled lots of places, I've watched lots of your shows. You need to have, when you come into the Philippines, you need, even if you spend 30 pounds English, colloquial term, you need to have something showing that within the month, even if you intend to extend your visa, you have to have some piece of paper showing you have an outward bound flight within 30 days that you arrive in the Philippines. Otherwise, you will be refused entry.
Lovely. That's very helpful.
I've made so many mistakes since I've been here, and the best way to learn is by mistake. Trust me, my friend.
Yeah, I have a hard time remembering when things go well, but when they go bad, I remember them forever.
We both agree on that subject, then. I am absolutely positive on that one.
Yeah, and I think it's important to understand that that there's a world for everyone, and just because we've found peace where we have, it doesn't mean there isn't peace all over the world or love all over the world. It's just it's good to tell people that the world, it's not perfect, but it's a safe and beautiful place, and it's okay to go and experiment and learn about other places and other people and other cultures. And the world is beautiful.
Absolutely. And I have to be honest and say, I can't match the amount of countries I've traveled to, but I've done pretty well. I'm more than half of what countries you've travelled, I've travelled, and I've never had, touch wood, I'm touching my head because there's no wood around me. Hang on, there's wood here. Touch wood, I've never had what I would call a bad experience. But obviously, with my ex-profession, I've seen some stuff that I didn't like, but I would never say that in any country I've travelled to, and especially here, I mean, here, I don't know why people think this is a dodgy country to visit, because seriously, I don't think, I've lived in Manila, I've lived here, I've never seen anything. Well, except for the expats. You go to an expat bar and they get a bit rowdy, but, Filipinos, no, nothing. But yeah, all around the world I've travelled. I think some people attract travel. That's my belief in life. Some people can go anywhere in the world and attract travel. Most people go in the world and just enjoy it, and they love people that they meet. That's the best way to travel.
Well said, and it's great to hear it from a policeman, honestly, because you grew up.
I'm tired. I wouldn't want to go back to being a policeman at this moment in time.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Well, Tony, it's been a real joy chatting with you. I'll probably have to put this conversation into 2 videos, if you don't mind. It's been very it's valuable. It's insightful. It's inspiring, and not everyone has 2,000 or 3,000 a month to throw around. And just the idea that someone like you is out there in the world, I think, will help people.
My pleasure. I've really enjoyed it. I've been following you for quite a while, even before you came to the Philippines. I follow a couple of other guys on who go places like anyone in Southeast Asia, because obviously the more information you have, the better it is.
Yeah, and anytime you want to share again, just let me know. It's a joy to have you on my channel, Tony.
Great channel, mate. You keep cracking on, and hopefully you'll escape the Philippines at some point in the near future once the Turkey makes his mind up.
Thanks so much. Joy to you and your family.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dan.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care. This is Dan of Vagabond Awake. Hey, don't give up on your retirement dreams. Come check out our retired cheap reports all over the world. You can probably retire somewhere in the world beautiful like this for much less than you thought. Thanks for watching. Click the link below this YouTube video. That concludes part 2 of my 2-part interview with Tony the British policeman that retired in the Philippines on 550 British pound sterling per month, which is about 725 US dollars per month. Make sure to listen to part 1 of the interview where Tony explains his monthly budget. Click the more information link in the notes below this YouTube video to get a link to part 1 of the interview and a free copy of my ebook, How I Fired My Boss and Traveled the World for 13 Years. My goal is to make this channel better every day, but I need your help. Please leave your new topic ideas, your criticism, and other thoughts in the comments below this video. This is Dan from Vagabond Awake, the YouTube channel for vagabondbuddha.com. The world is your home. What time will you be home for dinner? Please like this video, comment, or subscribe. Any of that would help our business. We'd sure appreciate it. Thanks so much.